Hey guys, how are you doing today? My name's Joel, and it's another Mix It Up reactions podcast or podcast, just Mix It Up podcast. We do a lot of different stuff. It's not just reactions anymore. But
there's more.
We are going to be watching something that isn't exactly a reaction, but it is a reaction, kind of. We were told that the BTS group has spoken multiple times to multiple different places. So we're going to check out their UN speech at the United Nations in 2018. About 7 minutes. It's not that bad. So we're going to check it out and see what they're talking about. I'm pretty sure because I've heard a couple times, a couple things from other. Okay, so a couple things we've heard is like they've done UNICEF, they've talked at UN, they've talked at award shows and things like that. They've done performances, but the whole purpose is to try and like raise awareness of, well, racism against anyone of Asian descent of any or Pacific Islander or whatever else. Mm-hmm. And they've also spoken on COVID and people's mental health situations, things like that. They've spoken on a lot of topics and subjects, which they have done that in their music for forever. Mm. Still can't believe in 1 year they released like 3 albums. That was insane. But nonetheless, irregardless, what would that be? Nonetheless, that just works.
Nonetheless,
whatever. Nonetheless. So we're going to watch this now and consume it. Okay, bye.
Consume. Can I get some chips?
No. You just had a bag of chips.
I just looked at the camera because I know somebody's like, oh, he better not get no fucking chips.
Better not get those chips. Well, the last couple of videos, you just sat a bag of chips in camera view so you could be like, I could have them if I want them. Okay, let's check it out. RM.
Thank you, Mr. Secretary General, UNICEF Executive Director, and all the excellencies and distinguished guests from across the world. My name is Kim Namjoon, also known as RM, the leader of the group BTS. It is an incredible honor to be invited to an occasion with such significance for today's young generation. Last November, BTS launched the Love Myself campaign with UNICEF, building on our belief that true love first begins with loving myself. We've been partnering with UNICEF's End Violence program to protect children and young people all over the world from violence. And our fans have become a major part of this campaign with their action and with their enthusiasm. We truly have the best fans in the world. And I'd like to begin by talking about myself. I was born in Ilsan, a city near Seoul, South Korea. It is a really beautiful place with a lake, hills, and even an annual flower festival. I spent a very happy childhood there, and I was just an ordinary boy. I used to look up at the night sky and wonder, and I used to dream the dreams of a boy. I used to imagine that I was a superhero who could save the world. And in an intro to one of our early albums, there's a line that says, my heart stopped when I was maybe 9 or 10. Looking back, I think that's when I began to worry about what other people thought of me and starting seeing myself through their eyes. I stopped looking up at the night skies, the stars. I stopped daydreaming. Instead, I just tried to jam myself into the malls that other people made. Soon, I began to shut out my own voice and started to listen to the voices of others. No one called out my name, and neither did I. My heart stopped and my eyes closed shut. So, like this, we all lost our names. We became like ghosts. But I had one sanctuary, and that was music. There was a small voice inside of me that said, wake up, man, and listen to yourself. But it took me quite a long time to hear music calling my real name. Even after making the decision to join BTS, there were a lot of hurdles. Some people might not believe, but most people thought we were hopeless. And sometimes I just wanted to quit. But I think I was very lucky that I didn't give it all up. And I'm sure that I and we will keep stumbling and falling like this. BTS has become artists performing in those huge stadiums and selling millions of albums right now, but I am still an ordinary 24-year-old guy. If there's anything that I've achieved, it was only possible that I have my other BTS members right by my side, and because of the love and the support that our ARMY fans all over the world made for us. And maybe I made a mistake yesterday, but yesterday's me is still me. Today, I am who I am with all of my faults and my mistakes. Tomorrow, I might be a tiny bit wiser, and that'll be me too. These faults and mistakes are what I am, making up the brightest stars in the constellation of my life. I have come to love myself for who I am, for who I was, and for who I hope to become. I like to say the one last thing. After releasing our Love Yourself albums and launching the Love Myself campaign, we started to hear remarkable stories from our fans all over the world, how our message helped them overcome their hardships in life and start loving themselves. Those stories constantly remind us of our responsibility. So let's take all one more step. We have learned to love ourselves. So now I urge you to speak yourself. I like to ask all of you, what is your name? What excites you and makes your heart beat? Tell me your story. I want to hear your voice. I want to hear your conviction. No matter who you are, where you're from, your skin color, your gender identity, just speak yourself. Find your name and find your voice by speaking yourself. I'm Kim Namjoon and also RM of BTS. I'm an idol and I'm an artist from a small town in Korea. Like most people, I've made many and plenty mistakes in my life. I have many faults and I have many more fears, but I'm gonna embrace myself as hard as I can. And I'm starting to love myself gradually, just little by little. What is your name? Speak yourself. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. With so many young fans around the world, it was a pleasure having BTS with us, and I'm thankful that you use your platform and creativity to reach young audiences with positive messages about what it means to be a young person in the world today.
Okay. I will say this. We've said something like this before on the podcast when we talk about how you have to separate how others view you from your happiness. Because otherwise you'll consistently be attached to the way others view you in this world. Yeah. And there's a difference between the way society views you, the way an individual views you, the way a trusted friend or family member views you. But the idea is that you love yourself and keep your own sanity for that matter, because if your happiness is directly attached to the way others view you, there is no guarantee that they will ever be happy with what you are.
Yeah. Somebody's going to be upset about it.
Yeah. Somebody somewhere is going to be upset that you either caved or you changed or you altered your own voice. And I agree with that 100%, 180%, 2,000%, 150,000%. The reason I agree with that is because, again, I had parents that were Christian. They had their ideas, Baptist fundamentalists. I had family that were, different religions. I had friends who were different religions. I had grown up in a place where there was a multitude of different people from all walks of life. Like, it was a poor neighborhood that had rich neighborhoods built around it, which now those rich neighborhoods that were built around it are now just middle suburbia. And the poor neighborhood is kind of ghetto. So it was like, that's what I grew up in. So it was like, I mean, I had friends who were super rich. I had friends who were black, white, brown, yellow. I mean, whatever colors of the rainbow, they were there. And I worked with my first job, I worked with someone who was gay, and I had a best friend who was gay. And, so I grew up in a world that, like, it was a bunch of different people smushed together. So it was never like white guy controls this and blah, blah. Like, in our world, that didn't exist. We just played basketball. We played basketball. And I'm talking up until high school. It wasn't until like last couple of years of high school that I really noticed that change and alteration in the way people treated each other. Before, it was just, if you're a piece of shit, you're a piece of shit. We know you're a piece of shit. But then it became like this whole thing where groups of people were getting together and then doing piece of shit things. And I'm like, why? What's wrong with you guys? Just live, have fun, love each other, whatever, I never understood that. And then it just literally over time, it got worse and worse and worse and worse, because all the people that would ostensibly, we got away from the science aspect and it became more about the culture. Like, culture should be accepted. Your skin color and tone should be accepted, because it makes no sense why it wouldn't be.
Yeah.
I mean, yes, back in the day, they acted like that was a difference. It isn't. Look, if I can be honest, it's very scientific. Here's the planet of the world. Here's the equator. Generations of ancestry that were born in those areas, guess what? They had darker skin. And as it got farther apart, their skin got whiter. It has nothing to do with anything except for where your ancestors were born, you dummies. Like,
I actually saw that online like 3 days ago.
oh, really?
Yeah.
You saw that?
It was, I want to say it was a scientist that was explaining that, and they were talking about just temperature. Like, they did a temperature map of the world.
Oh.
And then they just switched it.
I think I saw that a long time ago.
Hey, guess what? If you just flip the colors and now it's a race. Oh, it's the same fucking thing.
Yeah. As a scientist, literally your skin color is just genetic adaptation over time. It's depending on, not melatonin. What's the word?
Melanin.
In the skin.
Melanin.
And the melanin. I keep saying melatonin.
Isn't that what puts you to sleep?
Yeah, that's what puts you to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah. I just keep, that's the word that keeps popping in my head every time. Melanin.
I have melanin and melatonin.
Yeah. But it's basically just genetic adaptation. That's all it is. It was because people closer to the equator had to deal with higher temperatures. And when you had to deal with higher temperatures, you had to have darker skin because you'd burn less. Mm-hmm. It was genetic adaptation. That's why people in Norway are so white. They're almost clear because they're way farther up top.
Yeah.
But that's the whole thing. Vikings started using ships to go to different countries and everything. And you started seeing more mixes of this and that. And over time, it just got, crazier. And that's good because it mixes up the genetic race. And when that happens, you're going to have stronger genes being produced. Like anyone who has like me, I'm a mutt. I have two different lines of Native American, Irish, English, was a little bit of, a good chunk of Norwegian with Viking DNA. And then, I want to say Middle East, but it could be Greek. Could be Middle East, could be Greek, could be African, or it could be Chinese. Because turns out China, Chinese descendants, African descendants, Middle East descendants, Greek descendants have thalassemia, the blood disorder. And that's what I have. So out of all those, one of those is mixed up in amongst my stuff. So, yeah, because it's like, well, sickle cell is where your blood cells look like little sickles and they can only hold so much hemoglobin, which can be very problematic when it comes to development and running of structures of your organs and things like that. But thalassemia is where you have tinier blood vessels, but they still can't hold as much hemoglobin. So they look more pinkish than they do red. And that becomes problematic as well. Two people who are thalassemia beta, if they get together and have a kid, that kid, I think it's changed, but it used to be that kid didn't live past the age of 20 because his blood couldn't support his organ systems. He had organ failure. But I think now they have a few that have actually lived past the age of 20 because of medication. And you have to take a lot of medication, but which is good, which I'm glad about that because I always had that fear. My mom was always, make sure you know their medical background before you have a baby with them, you know, and I'm like, it'd be my luck that I ran into someone. But again, like, you know, I'm a genetic mutt. So that's probably why the fact that I've literally smashed my head so many times and all I have are memory issues and I don't have deformation or anything. Been hit by cars. Yeah. Anyways, but no, it's just genetics. Why did we start on this? What was happening?
Because they were talking about
the rabbit trail I just chased.
About race. He mentioned race and gender identity.
Yeah. So, you know, love yourself is a very beautiful thing, and speak yourself, which is say your own name. It's a very beautiful thing because it's showing truth. That's what I like about their message. It's honesty. It's not just pandering for the sake of pandering. It's being honest. Is one, you should not give a crap what other people think. It should matter to yourself what you're doing more, but you shouldn't be ignoring the pain of others either. Yeah. You know, that's always been their message too. Don't just be like, yeah, you're right. I'm the most important person. No, that's the opposite of what he's trying to say. He's trying to say, love yourself, but be kind and nice to others because in reality, and this is actually from the Bible, but from the Bible, which is something I follow. Well, I follow this rule, which is do unto others as you would have them do unto you. It's a golden rule. And it's very intelligent because I don't like treating people like crap because I don't want to be treated like crap, you know? But yeah, it's just what he speaks on is honesty. It's reality. And he does it for the youth, which is good because now that I think about it, dude, everybody who was my age and a pop star and that time was like super famous and popular. I gotta say, I never knew any of them to say anything of any type of concert.
I'm sure at some point,
some
like charity concert or something.
I've never heard them really talk like that though. I never heard a 24-year-old talk like that. They usually waited till 34 before they talk like that.
Yeah. I don't know.
Because I got to think about it. I watched Korn and Britney Spears and a whole bunch of other different styles of music throughout my life. And I can honestly say that there wasn't many discussions or topics about that type of stuff.
There wasn't much on the R&B side either.
Definitely, no, there wasn't. Or hip hop. Definitely not hip hop or rap. No.
You don't talk about those things.
No, you don't. Well, they do now a little bit. I mean, Chance does. Anyways, but I mean, it's changing for the better, which is becoming more aware of mental health and mental health issues. And it's not the ones where, you know, that friend that you have that uses mental health as an excuse to be a dumbass and to do stupid shit. And when I say this, no, you can believe someone because they're your friend, you love them, but over a period of time, their true character is going to be revealed if it's real or not, you know? Like having someone that I watched their facial change. There was this guy, he was a great guy, but I could tell that he was kind of a manipulative little turd because he was sitting around the corner of this bar and one of our friends was walking past around. He looked and he went, and he looked all sad. And I went, what the fuck happened here? And she comes around. She goes, oh, honey, what's wrong? He's like, girlfriend broke up with me. And I'm like, no, dude, don't do that. That's messed up. That's messed up. Using that as an excuse to try and get another girl to fall in love with you or date you or whatever else. That's so FUBAR.
It's going to make me feel better.
Yeah. I've seen people use stuff like that before. They use it as an excuse in a way. And it makes me angry because there are people who literally cannot control the mental health issues they have. And it makes me very angry when someone uses it as an advantage.
Yeah.
Or in the temperament of an environment, like a way to get ahead. And then I've seen someone, literally a friend of mine, stand in a parking lot and pacing back and forth, talking to no one who's there and having a conversation with them, talking about how afraid they are that someone's going to kill them. No, not you. And like talking to themselves. That is a very hard thing to watch. And you know that that person is homeless and they're not going to be able to get the help that they want or that they need. Because they don't have money. They don't have health insurance. It's very frustrating.
Yeah.
And I wish I had realized. I literally told him, I said, just wait right here. Don't move. I'm going to go get a phone and we're going to call somebody to help and do something. And he just disappeared and I never saw him again. Like, I don't know how the hell he got away that quickly, too. I was maybe in there for 3.5 minutes. So he either started flying or, I don't know, jumped around it was in the middle of like a business parking lot and there's buildings on both sides. So he either had to have booked it and ran like 600 feet in 2 seconds. I don't know how he did it. Because I couldn't find him anywhere. There was only 6 cars in the parking lot. That dude straight up disappeared like a magician. I don't know. But that ever since that moment, like I immediately started seeing that, yeah, this is bullshit. Anybody who says, oh, it's all in your mind. Yeah, that's the issue. That's the problem.
That's the problem.
It's not weird to ignore mental health issues and act like they don't exist. And the stigma around it's getting better, but it's not there yet. But yeah, we just need we need better resources. I
think we also need breaks from social media.
Oh, that's a huge, that's an egress we need to cross. Yeah. I'm not on it that much.
I'd normally share funny stuff, but
like,
I know
might share a funny
people,
thing or a serious thing.
Younger people stay on it. They're just constantly looking at everybody else, and it just makes you feel bad about yourself. I don't have that.
I used to, but it was the bad marketing. And when people started talking about FOMO, I went, I'm done with this. That's dumb. I was like, this is just pure stupidity. So I'm only on it when I need to be, or absolutely, but I feel so much freer. Now, do I play video games? Yeah, go on, man. Because that gets my creative juices flowing, so I'm able to create stuff. Am I on YouTube? Well, kind of. I mean, we just check results we have every day, but
post something, check something.
Yeah, I post something probably 3 times a week, maybe more if I feel like it. But most of the time we just check like once or twice a day just to see how it's doing and what's going on. Mm-hmm. And then we'll occasionally do some commenting, but we don't do it as often because a lot of the times people are just repeating the same comments that someone said before them about 13,000 times. So it feels weird to answer the same question over and 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 over again.
See above, higher.
See above 15, the 15 comments above this. See answer for the first one.
Way far above.
Yeah. No.
It's up there.
I mean, usually if people say something really interesting, that's when I'll comment. But if I'm looking through and it's like, OST stands for, OST stands for, OST stands for, I'm just like, okay, I know. I got it by the first one. Thank you. Okay, guys. So honestly, we really like what he talked about. You know, he's talking about avoiding violence and behavior simply by understanding that you need to love yourself first, because you can't love someone else without being able to love yourself first. Mm-hmm. That's where codependency comes involved. Mm-hmm. That's where violence and anger and hatred and jealousy and loathing, all of that stuff comes from the fact that you haven't learned to love yourself, but tried to be involved in a relationship before that, you know?
I always say in a relationship, it's before there was me.
And I mean relationships as in like romantic, friends, family, all of that stuff.
So before there's me, you, and the kids, it was me and you. And before me and you, it was me.
Yeah.
So at some point, you got to break all that down and spend time with the kids.
Yeah.
Spend time with you and the other, and just spend time by your fucking self.
Yeah. No, I mean, that's you have to, Like, this is actually pretty funny. It was part of the training when I was a lifeguard for a little while. I don't know why I was a lifeguard, but when I was a lifeguard for a little while, the important thing they tried to let you know is that, look, when you're out trying to save a life, if that person is going to be flailing because they're drowning, so they're trying to grab for everything, right? And they will pull you under and drown you. And then they themselves will drown. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you got to punch them in the nose, knock them out. Because the only way you can save their life is if you knock them out and bring them down. Because here's the whole thing. You can't save someone else or do good in your life if you yourself are drowning.
Right.
It's not going to work.
Yeah.
You can't allow stuff to drag you down and drown you. So the idea is save yourself, being self-aware, understanding what your issues and problems are, looking for solutions. Like if you do have mental health issues, you need to go to a professional, speak to a doctor or therapist. If you need pharmaceuticals, make sure that person is in the right mindset to get you on the right. You're going to have to tweak it, and find that right level of everything. And it might take a little bit. And I know it sucks, but once you get to that perfect level, you're going to feel 10,000 million times better. But just having some type of mental health crisis or issue and acting like you don't need anyone else, you're opening yourself up for possibility of hurting and harming others, especially ones you care about. Because I don't know how many times I've seen that happen. And just saying, well, I have my friends to help you. Don't get me wrong. Your friends are probably smart people, but unless they're fucking therapists or psychoanalysts or anything that's involved in that area, do not think your friends can stop you in the middle of a crisis and help you. Because what are they going to do? You're freaking out. You're uncontrollable. You don't know what's happening. You don't know why this is happening to you. You're freaking out. Your whole body's going into it's just manic almost. And you think your friend's gonna be like, hey, Tommy, it's all in your head, bro. You think that guy's going to be able to fix it? Let's just go have a beer and hang out and talk. And then he goes, well, I'm having issues because I have suicidal thoughts, or I'm talking, or my parents treat me like shit. It is, man, it's all in your head, bro. That's not a guy you should be talking to about that shit.
It does not help.
He does not help. He does not care as much on that aspect. He wants you to just be happy, fun loving. Let's hang out. I'm your friend. And that's not about friendships and depth of friendships. It's because if you don't know how to fix something, you're going to just do whatever to try and make it, put a Band-Aid or patch it. But when it comes to mental health, you can't patch shit. You can't put a Band-Aid on it. It doesn't work. It will always fall off or break or bust. And then someone gets hurt, either you or someone else.
Yeah.
So please speak to professionals and be wary of places that claim they have professionals, licensed professionals, blah, 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 blah. And then all of a sudden you find out, I took half a semester of therapy, to be a therapist. And
took
then
an online class last night.
Then I decided to go work for Subway as assistant manager. And then I got a job at BetterHelp. Like, don't do that. Just find a professional. I know it's hard. I know it's difficult. There's not enough of them that are graduated. So there's going to be not a surplus. What's the other one?
Shortage?
Deficit. There's going to be a deficit of therapists.
That's a better word.
That's the proper word. I was just looking for it.
Yeah, I said shortage, but deficit is better. I'll just keep my vocab over here.
Sorry. My bad. Anyways, guys, love you all to death. And I wish you happy joy, and happy kindness and thoughts and loving, and give yourself a self hug. And thank you, RM and BTS. You guys rock, man. I like you. Every time I see something new, I'm like, man, I want to be friends with them. Okay. I'll talk to you guys later. Make sure you like and subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you know when new videos are coming out. Also, if you could, take a look at our description links and such, and click some things, buy some shit, do some stuff. And if you want to support the channel, we have a fourth wall membership thing. You might get like access to the Discord, some, I don't know. There's stuff in there. Access to the Discord. We are going to
click it and tell us what you found.
Yeah. I think Fourth Wall has the ability where we can put up specific content to certain things. So we might have like a voting system where we put up like, hey, which one of these videos do you guys want? Where it wouldn't be on the YouTube channel, it'd just be specific to that Discord or whatever else. I don't know. Well, we'll see what you guys tell us what you'd want to pay $5 for. What would be worth it to you for $5? And keep in mind that if we do have a Discord, cool, but we ain't going to be on it all that much. No, I'm kidding.
I'll be on it every now and then.
Every now and then, yeah. I mean,
we work for ourselves, so I mean, we have the time.
But at the same time, that's the problem. Is we work for ourselves. We spend a lot of time getting calls from people. Hey, man, you doing anything? No, it's just 3:30 in the morning. What's up? I need me a new website done by 5 p.m. Can you get that done? 5 p.m. Not a problem. An hour later, I'm at 5 a.m. I'm sorry. Yeah, we have stuff like that happen all the time. So we love you guys. And we hope you have a good day. And give someone a hug, give a smile, and say hello to somebody on the street today. If they're super creepy, maybe not. But if they look like they're having a rough day, say hello. How are you doing? I hope you're doing good. I love you. Have a good life. You know.